Mic plugged in. What's up, my people? Welcome back to Studio B of Rent Roller Sports. Come in, please like, share, subscribe. I have to say it like a robot. You already know that. It would help. All right, I appreciate it. I want to thank some individuals that went back and forth with me in the comment section earlier. Let me quickly get their screen names. Just bear with me. This is a continuation of the live I did this morning. If you didn't see it, I have the Pfizer vaccine 2 days ago. I was sweating all night. Right, nothing terrible. Just the sweats, just sweating all night. I could stand the sweat off a few pounds, right? So no problem. But I was up early in the morning. A guy, a viewer, responded to a comment. So me and him got back and forth with it early in the morning. He put a battery in my back, and I got up and did an early live. Okay, that's not what I usually do, but I didn't do a live yesterday, so I figured it'd be cool to do 2 lives today. But this live won't even be an hour. I'm going to try to rattle through my topics very quickly for all you ADHD guys out there and girls. I'm going to shout out Mike D, who took the time to make a comment earlier. I want to shout out Xavier Tay, who I met earlier today, and he subscribed right away when I showed him my channel. Yeah, my boy T, yeah, crispy. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bring some good luck to him. If they go out and get Deshaun Watson, maybe they can make something happen. You know what I'm saying? Pull for that, man. My man T on the check-in, like Fat Joe would say, early. Yeah, so that's Xavier Tay. I want to thank him. I want to, of course, thank my man Tariq for checking in. He's one of the few people, my brother Tariq, that's close to me, that actually supports the channel, chimes in when he has the time. He's a working man, of course, and he ain't got time to watch everything and chime in all the time. But I learned a long time ago that when you're endeavoring to do something different and be successful in a different way, a lot of the times you don't get support from the people right around you, your wife, your children, your cousins, your aunties, uncles. You're going to get support from strangers for the most part. So I came into this, not expecting my people around me to really support. And for the most part, it's been true, except for my brother Herb, my brother Tariq, my brother Jerron. All right. They've supported me, watched the videos, commented, liked, and that's all I could ask for. I really appreciate it. So let's get right into it. I don't want to waste a lot of time because I want this to be a shorter live. I'm going to try to keep it within an hour or less. Okay, I'm going to try. But we all know, you know what I'm saying? This is the bootleg Studio B, and this is the bootleg Red Bull. But it still works. All right, so in the earlier live, just a quick recap. I spoke about Floyd Mayweather and his refusal to take a picture with a suspect-looking young man with painted fingernails, and I explained why I supported Floyd, and I'm going to quickly recap why. A lot of times when you're taking a celebrity picture, either the celebrity puts his arm around you or you go to put your arm around a celebrity or lean in real close like this here, right? Floyd took one look at this guy and said, no, thank you. No, sir. He didn't want no part of him. nails painted. He looked all feminine. And the last thing Floyd wanted was a picture of him floating around on the internet with him hugged up on this feminine looking boy. Next thing you know, perhaps that boy goes on Instagram and be like, this is my boo thing. Now you have Floyd Mayweather out there as a quote unquote homosexual when that's not what he projects. That's not what he says he is. And that's not his lifestyle. So he quickly looked at the kid and said, no, thank you. I'm not taking no picture with a dude with painted fingernails. Some of you may take offense to that. We don't know if that young man was gay. But Floyd, just looking at him, being a quick judge of character, said, no, this young man is trouble. No, thank you. Now, Floyd gets bum rushed by thousands of people, I'm sure, every week or every month, excuse me. Maybe, up to however he spends his day, he's going to run into people looking for a picture and an autograph. So I'm pretty sure he's used to sizing up strangers and knowing when to hold them and knowing when to fold them. And in that case, he decided to fold them. All right, so that was the first topic. The next topic I brought up in the earlier live, the part one, was the WNBA parade and its fans, or lack thereof. Nobody showed up at that parade in Chicago. You would have think they was having a parade going through O Block, the most dangerous section of urban Chicago. That's where you would think the parade took place. It was like a ghost town through the streets. They had the buses. They had like 3 buses, and the girls cheer it, and it was like a ghost town. And I had to think, was it because of a holiday? No. Was it because of COVID? The parade is outside. That couldn't be the reason. What could be the reason? The fans ain't interested. Nobody's interested in the WNBA and their half-lesbian league. That's just the bottom line. Bunch of hard, rough, dry chicks running up and down the court. And the other part of that is that they don't have the explosiveness of the male game, of the men's pro game or the men's college game or the men's high school game. They're not dunking. There's only maybe 2% of the entire WNBA that can dunk the ball, and that's on a breakaway. It's not like they tomahawk dunking over another chick. Where we would jump out of seat and go, oh, did you see what she just did? Oh, there's none of that going on in the WNBA. In my opinion, they should lower the rim a foot or maybe even 6 inches. Whatever the average height and arm length differential between men and women exists, they should take that out in the height of the basket and lower it accordingly. Maybe even make the ball a slight bit smaller so that they can grip it and do like this. You know what I'm saying? My brother Tariq chimed in and said, not even 2%. That's the problem. That's a major problem. That's why when I did the live and I talked about the Women's Lingerie Football League, how it had everything males would look for in a female sport. They were done up. They had makeup on. They picked attractive women for the most part, and they were really hitting. They were really playing football, even though they didn't have the experience. Imagine, college football programs implementing women in college, high school, and giving some time to really learn the game and develop the muscle skills and all that to play the game. They did pretty well, just having no experience playing American-style football, not to be confused with soccer. Right? They had the right formula. The WNBA, they even had heterosexual WNBA players speaking out against all the lesbian hazing and bisexual hazing that was going on in the locker rooms. They were made to feel uncomfortable for being straight or heterosexual women. So that league to me is on its last legs. They're about to pull the plug on that any minute to me because it just – the numbers aren't adding up. Nobody's interested. Not men, not women, not little boys, not little girls. And when I say nobody, I'm exaggerating slightly, but the interest is not there. Lower the rim. Actually allow them to wear a little bit of lightweight makeup. Cosmetics now have come a long way. They can wear makeup without sweating it off. There's certain very light makeup they can wear instead of having them run up and down the court looking like bull dykes. I mean, that's why nobody's interested. The next topic I had was Tom Brady making a comment about defensive players are like dogs chasing cars. He was sitting up on his high horse with fellow quarterbacks Eli and Peyton Manning on those two brothers' show or podcast or whatever it was, and he was feeling himself. And he's away from Belichick now, so he can talk a little bit more and be more himself. And he was like, yeah, you know, you ever been in a defensive meeting? No wonder why they can't play offense and yada, yada, yada. Basically calling defensive players dumb or unintelligent or not as swift as offensive players. And I went on a tangent telling Tom Brady he was full of shit. The only reason that he was able to withstand and endure this long and play this effectively is because of the rule changes. One of the rule changes was made specifically for him. I don't know if you guys remember when the year after they went 18-1 and lost in the Super Bowl, the very next season, Tom Brady got hurt in the first game, I believe it was. The first or second game, a defensive player came in, lunging at him, looking to sack him, hit him below the knee. Tom Brady missed the rest of the year, if you guys remember. And Jimmy G, Garofalo, was it Jimmy G? No, it might have been the other guy they had. I don't even think it was Jimmy G who took over for the entire year. No, it wasn't Jimmy G. It was somebody else. I forget his name, but he was the backup quarterback. The Patriots still ended up going 10-6 and not making the playoffs, which is kind of like unheard of. But they instituted a rule right after that saying defensive players could not hit the quarterback below the knee. So where is left to hit you? Above the knee, the thigh area, the navel, belly button area right here, and that's it. And they have to gently pull you down to the ground like you a bag of groceries, you know, bread and eggs. They can't slam you into the turf anymore. They can't drive you into the turf with their body. They can't come across and chop you across the head and the ball and hit the ball loose. So that's the reason Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, so on and so forth. These guys played a long time. Brett Favre, you know, because of the rule changes. And also the rule changes that affected the wide receivers. Once again, you can't hit no more head-to-head hits, no more helmet-to-chest hits, right? So now you got all these defensive players just diving at the legs of receivers, and it's causing a whole bunch of leg injuries and lower body injuries, where in the past you smack a guy, ring his bell, and he might go to the sideline, get some smelling salts, take a few plays off or a couple of series off, come back to the game, but he's not injured. Of course, there's that whole CTE thing, but that's another conversation. But one smack to the knee and you're out for the season. Maybe you're out a year and a half. So these rule changes have made the NFL, sorry for my French, excuse my French, a pussy game, and has allowed people like Tom Brady to thrive. Not that he's not talented, not that he didn't put in the work, not that he's not great, but is he 3 times greater than Joe Montana? Is he 3 times greater than John Elway, Jim Kelly, Terry Bradshaw, any of these guys from the Pat, Dan Marino? You know, is he really that much better, you know, than these guys, Steve Young? No, he's not. He's benefited from rule changes that have given the offense an advantage. Now, I know why the NFL did this, because they looked at numbers and figured out the casual fan prefers the passing game. Yeah, the diehards don't mind 3 yards in a cloud of dust. The diehard football, you know, traditionalists. Just like in baseball, the traditional baseball fan doesn't mind watching a 2-to-1 pitcher's duel, right? But the casual fan wants to see home runs, the long ball, baby. It's the same thing with basketball. The casual fan wants to see the explosive dunk, which, again, going back to the WNBA, they don't provide. And the casual fan wants to see the long 70-yard bomb over the top, and they want to see a dance and a celebration. So Tom Brady, once again, you're full of it now, okay? Because if you played your entire career in Joe Montana's era or Terry Bradshaw's era, okay, you would not have lasted this long and put up all of these ridiculous numbers that you've been afforded the ability to do. Okay, so that recapped my first 3 topics. I know I ran through that very quickly. I'm trying to keep this live under an hour. I'm going to go to the second half of my topics here. And let me find it. We're going to speak about Mike Tomlin's going off on the media when they keep suggesting that he might be taking a job in college football, namely the USC Trojan job, University of Southern California. Meanwhile, while he's only the third coach, in the Pittsburgh Steelers history, that's the franchise with the ultimate stability. And he's a winner. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He won 1. He's never had a losing season. Why would he be thinking about leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the premier sports jobs, coaching jobs in all of sports? But I'm going to let Mike speak for himself.
Yesterday is USC possibility on the Dan Patrick show. Said you got a wild card like Mike Tomlin if Mike Tomlin wants out. But here's what Mike Tomlin said about what Mike Tomlin wants.
Hey guys, I don't have time for that speculation. I mean, that's a joke to me. I got one of the best jobs in all of professional sport. Why would I have any interest in coaching college football? That'll be the last time today, but moving forward. Never say never, but never. Okay? Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check. Thank you. Anybody asking Sean Payton about that? Anybody asking Andy Reid about stuff like that?
When he looks around at every...
All right. That guy's intense, boy. Mike Tomlin, man. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. No wonder he's such a great coach, man. You see how intense that dude is, man? And he been that way ever since he took the job, man. He's a no-nonsense dude, man. The players like to play for him, but he don't take no mess. And he's not taking the mess from the media and the games that they're trying to play. He's a long-tenured coach. He's a black head coach, which the NFL had its issues with that. So much so that they put in the Rooney Rule, which came from how great the Pittsburgh ownership is, that you have to identify, you have to interview at least one quote-unquote African-American coaching candidate every offseason when you go to hire a different coach, or if you're replacing a coach, you have to interview at least one black. That's how bad it got with head coaching jobs in the NFL, because there was a good old boy system in place, where they wanted to keep the league looking a certain way, a league image, and that also trickled down to the quarterback position. In fact, to me, it was even worse because they were taking a star college black quarterbacks, quote unquote black quarterbacks, and turning them into wide receivers, running backs, defensive backs, everything but let him play quarterback in the NFL. Now, if he's good, if he's an excellent college quarterback and he's good enough to be drafted into the NFL, why would you then change his position? Doesn't make much sense. But they were doing it all the time. And the one that they famously tried to do it to, in my opinion, was the great Charlie Ward, Florida State quarterback of the 90s, who was breaking all kind of records, winning Heisman's, was clearly the best quarterback talent at that time in college football. And you know what all the teams told him? Well, you projected for the 7th or 8th round. If Charlie Ward was playing today, Charlie Ward would have been the number 1 pick. Hands down. Go back, watch the footage, go back, check the stats, go back and revisit that Florida State Seminole history. He had the stadium rocking when they were all the fans were, oh, he had that stadium rocking, man. And the ultimate slap in the face and insult would be you're projected to be a 7th or 8th round pick and you're the best player in college football. This is how that good old boy system was working up until recent times. It's got way better, way better. I really can't complain now. It is what it is. Although I feel like guys, certain black quarterbacks, if they don't have an excellent run of success, the minute that their production drops, they're out of the league. A la Michael Vick, who's right now, I think he's goddamn 10 years younger than Tom Brady. He might just be 10 years younger than Tom Brady, and he was a much superior athlete. So how is it that Mike Vick is not in the league? And there was a lot of players like that. Maybe it's a personal choice. Maybe his body got beat up so bad that he hung him up and said, that's it. I'm not privy to his inside life, so that could be the case, right? But back to Mike Tomlin. Excellent coach. He had a reason to be mad because certain media pundits are slick. They get batteries put in their back to say and do certain things. You know what I mean? And maybe they're just trying to drum up a story. Sometime when things are there's no juice out there, the media will try to squeeze some juice out of something, create a story, right, out of nothing. And he saw what they were trying to do. You know, he saw that maybe the Rooney family could be second guessing themselves if the story kept circulating enough. You know, of course they're not watching Mike Tomlin 24 hours, so they might have been thinking, is he taking phone calls from colleges? You know, is he unsatisfied here? Is he looking to move on? We haven't had any indication of that, but we're hearing all these reports. So Mike Tomlin had a reason to be upset. All right, let's move on. A lot of times when we have these debates on my channel about the GOAT debate and who's the best player of the 80s and the 90s, the heaviest debate is always during the 80s, that 80s decade. You know, who was the best, you know, Larry Bird fans and Celtics fan hardcore. Larry Bird was the best player of the 80s, GOAT, greatest of all time. And I'm not knocking that. Like I said, I'm the one who made the Larry Bird reverse discrimination video. I'm the one who bigged them up. And not for nothing, after I made those videos, a whole bunch of other Larry Bird videos popped up. After they saw the success and the attention that those two videos were getting, I made two of them, Larry Bird reverse discrimination and Larry Bird reverse discrimination, a visual update, which I showed his actual highlights. Like, I'm going to reiterate this again. Larry Bird scared me to death as a Laker fan as a kid in the 80s. But Magic Johnson was named Magic for a reason. Okay. This guy was 6'9", could play 5 positions. All 5 positions. He jumped center in the NBA Finals as a rookie and won. Okay. If he could play point guard and center, he can play everything in between. So we're not going to get into, but when did he play small forward or when did he play shooting guard? If you're that stupid, then you really don't understand basketball. If you can play center and play point guard, that means you can play everything in between. You're a 5-position player, legitimately. Now, would he have had trouble defending elite centers? Absolutely. Absolutely. He had issues defending elite point guards because they were so much quicker and shiftier than he was, especially as he started to age. Speaking about Magic Johnson, if you just come in and, let me take a sip of this bootleg bull. Quickly, I'm going to pull up some Magic Johnson highlights. Of course, many of you have seen them, but I can't assume that everybody that's watching this video is familiar with Magic Johnson.
To save money, we need to write things.
Let me lower this commercial for Tariq here and go at me in the comment section. Hang on 1 second, folks. The highlights is coming.
Screen
Yes, sir.
It's showtime.
If he didn't come down with HIV, we might be talking about Magic as the greatest all time, not Jordan.
Play basketball. He loved the game. He loved to entertain the crowd. Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen. He was my driving force. I just don't think there'll ever be another 6'9" point guard that smiles above the humiliation.
Some of you Larry Bird fans said Magic Johnson needed space to pass the ball. What a ridiculous statement. Some of you said Magic couldn't scoop. He couldn't score. What Magic Johnson, what games were you watching? Holy smokes, again? You gotta be kidding me, man. I'm doing that tonight. Well, they gotta make their money, right? Here we go.
Magic was the only guy that I've ever seen really throw a no-look pass. Look at a guy, time him, look you off, and then hit that guy in the dime without even looking at him.
Puts it up and scores on a finger roll. Five, Kareem hurt. Kareem turned an ankle. Kareem is hurt. I don't think Kareem is going to be able to go anywhere.
Oh, that's the first time I've seen Kareem with hair in a Laker uniform. Holy smokes.
Coach kind of laughed at him, and I said to the coach, he's serious. I called my dad, man, and I said, I'm going to go back to my high school days. He said, what are you talking about? I'm going to go back and be able to score. I'm going to score tomorrow. I'm going to score a lot tomorrow.
What was his show? Jump center. He ended up scoring 42 points, 15 rebounds. We played everybody conceivable against them defense. And here's a guy that, what was he, 20 years old?
It's over, and the most valuable player is Magic Johnson. He starts at center, plays forward and guard, and leads the Los Angeles Lakers to the World Championship.
Okay, guys. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Magic. If you're not, I just wanted to show you who he was. If you're like 12 years old watching this live and you've never seen Magic put in work, you just see him smiling on ESPN. You know, if that's all you ever seen Magic do, that was a guy 6'9", legitimately. Okay. Ultimate ball handler, ultimate passer, post scorer, driver of the basketball, mid-range shot. He was close to a 90% free throw shooter. Toward the end of his career, he extended his range out to the three-point line. He was a very good defender. Later in his years, some of the smaller, quicker point guards started running circles around him as he got older. And his knees, all them playoff games, all them NBA finals started to wear on his knees. Of course, he couldn't move laterally as quickly as he used to. But he still gave him the business, though. You know, it took Scottie Pippen, one of the greatest defenders in NBA history. He might be the greatest perimeter defender, him and Michael Jordan, I've ever seen. Better than Kawhi Leonard. Okay, people brag about Kawhi Leonard's defense, but he wasn't no Scottie Pippen. All right, and Scottie Pippen took the assignment to slow Magic Johnson down because he was torching Michael Jordan. Okay, torching him. LOL, double knee pad. That's right. Double purple knee pads, baby, and the double yellows. You know what I'm saying? When they was at home. You know, oh yeah. The Laker uniform is not pretty. It's the play. It's the play. It's gotten better over time. It's gotten better, but it was the players that really made the uniform, you know. But yeah, Magic Johnson is not considered in the GOAT debate nearly enough. Like I said, if he didn't come down with HIV, allegedly anyway, in 92, because Magic looks healthier than me right now. If he didn't come down with HIV, allegedly, he probably would have went to at least 2 more finals. At least 2 more. Okay, and he probably would have won at least one of them. Would have gave him 6 rings, but I don't like to deal in woulda, coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Let's just take his career up to that point. right? Up until 92, I believe he announced he had HIV. Then he went to the Dream Team and dominated there. And then before that, he got voted into the All-Star game in 92, I believe, and dominated the All-Star game and was clearly the best player on the court, even though some dudes, you know, acted like they didn't want him to play the game, like Karl Malone and a couple other people who were leery. But everybody else was with it. Yeah, Tariq. Yeah, I know you was going to throw in a little shade because you know how he took your Drexler-led Blazers out in 91 to get to that finals against the Bulls, because that really should have been the first Blazer-Bull matchup. But Magic Johnson said, even with Vlade Divac in replace of Kareem, said no, Clyde. Tariq says, no, Rob Drexler, that MVP. Okay, I got to revisit that series. You know, I was a kid when I watched it. I really didn't watch it again. And when that series took place, I was, 15 or 16. So that was a long time ago. I got to revisit that. I just know Magic is the one that was in the finals, right? Also, how many for Magic is much like LeBron James. It seems like the Lakers were in the finals every damn year or every other year. My boy Tariq says Clyde dropped 22, 6, and 5 in that All-Star game. Are you trying to tell me that Clyde should have been the All-Star game MVP the year that Magic won MVP? Come on, man. You know the moment. Now, I was talking about the All-Star game. Oh, well, is it the one where everybody cleared out and Magic went one-on-one with Isaiah first, and then the crowd went crazy when Jordan took him on and everybody cleared out and Magic guarded Jordan one-on-one? That game, you think Clyde should have won MVP of that game? When Magic was coming down, hitting threes and doing everything? Well, you know, you are biased toward, and I can't hate on you for that, Tariq, because I'm biased toward Magic. So I feel you're going to stand your ground like you in Florida, huh? He said, I'm standing my ground on Clyde. That's what's up. I'm not going to hate on you for that. Not whatsoever. But once again, Magic was just as good as Jordan, okay? Just as good as Bird. Anybody that you want to put up there in the GOAT debate, LeBron James, all right? Magic was the consummate winner. He won at every level, high school, college, and he beat Bird in college, by the way. He beat Bird in the pros. He beat Dr. J. He beat Isaiah. Only person he didn't beat was Jordan, because Jordan didn't even make it to the goddamn finals until the early 90s when Magic had ran the whole 80s decade. All right, so that's Magic Johnson. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this live under an hour. This next topic here is I'm going to switch gears and talk about MMA, and there's a up-and-coming MMA fighter named Hamzat Chimaev, okay, with a K. Before I was calling him Khamzat, but it's Hamzat Chimaev. He's a 170-pounder in the UFC. That's the welterweight division. And he's like a Khabib. If you follow UFC, Khabib was dominant in the lightweight division, dominant wrestler, became a great striker. I'm just going to show you the man's highlights and let you judge for yourself. So you can see who I'm speaking of.
Just like you.
Twice. And what do I mean by that? The reason a woman likes you in the first place, for the most part, and I'm just speaking from a male's perspective, is because of your assertiveness, your leadership, your potential to provide for her and whatever children you might create together, and your aggressiveness. Your aggressiveness. A girl will go out with a weaky wimp dude as something to pass the time, You know, she'll even might sex him. She might even give him some, break him off some, make him think that he's the apple of her eye, until she runs into that rougher around the edges dude who will tell her off, you know what I'm saying, check her, chastise her, curse her out, and she will be more attracted to that guy because he's aggressive, he's more dominant, he's more alpha. And she will decide, she might even leave that wimp dude right on the spot or a week later once she sees that, once that dude comes into the picture, right? But what happens to a lot of dudes over time is they get comfortable, you know, they start over catering to a woman. And then all of a sudden, this woman who was a sex pot in the beginning, having sex 2-3 times a day, turns into a form of your mother. Everything slows down. And now you have to, it seems like they're going to their woman's for permission to do any goddamn thing. I'm going to tell you a quick story about the relationship I witnessed between my grandfather and my grandmother. Now, my grandfather did a long stint in jail, missed most of my mother's childhood, or all of it pretty much, well, most of it, right? While my grandfather was, well, even before he went away, something was going on, but anyway, I'm not going to get into that part of the story, but they're no longer here, so I don't even want to talk about them like that. But just witnessing my grandfather and my grandmother interact, my grandmother was constantly henpecking them. You know you shouldn't be drinking. You know you shouldn't be doing it. You know you shouldn't be doing that. Who you over there hanging out with? You shouldn't be hanging out with him. What are you watching on this TV? You watching the game again? You look, even while he was eating, your grandfather uses a spoon like a shovel, and that was from prison. You know, some things you can't shake. You know, you sitting in prison eating your food like this. Look, ain't nobody taking my food. You know, so he wasn't that guarded, but my grandfather used a big spoon for everything. That was his thing. He ate with a tablespoon. He ate everything with a tablespoon. I don't care if it was spaghetti. It could have been anything. You know what I'm saying? He ate with a tablespoon. Right? So, but what would really happen is he would listen, he would, all right, Charlotte, all right, whatever, all right. And then after a certain point of her fussing, he would say, all right, case closed. That's enough. And when he said that, my grandmother knew what the hell he meant. That meant, okay, you gone too far now. The next step is he about to get up out that chair and something bad was about to happen. And my grandmother would shut the hell up. Finally at that, but he would let her go on and on and on and on, raising Cain, cussing, ranting and raving until he got fed and he said, all right now, case closed. The other thing about my grandfather is he totally ignored everything she said. Where you going? You out there drinking? You going out to meet your buddies? Boom, the door was slammed. And he was gone. Going to do whatever he was going to do. And then when he come back, she be rap. But like, again, it would go right back in that same routine. Either he would fall asleep or he was awake watching TV or something and would look over her and say, all right now. You know, so that relationship kind of really influenced me as far as how, and I'm looking at men in general, how weak and wimpish they done got. They can't even do nothing. They can't plan nothing without, you know, their girl or their wife being involved. They can't even go nowhere without their girl calling them. They can't even come hang out with you without checking in. You know, what the hell has happened? What has happened to men out here? You know, what has happened to men out here? We have a bunch of simps out here, handpecked everywhere. And these are the guys that are giving young men advice. I never gave my 2 sons that advice. I told my 2 sons, be independent, go get your own place, go get your own car, because if you run across a demanding, crazy chick, you can dismiss her. But if you slumming and you just going laying up under a girl, then you're at her mercy. And you know what a girl will do the first time they really, really get mad at you? Well, you can get out. This is my place. You can get the fuck out. You can pack your shit and get out. So If you put yourself in that type of compromised position, be prepared to do a lot of simping. And I preach to my sons, please do not put yourself in a position where you got to be up under a female to survive, whether she's feeding you or you living up under her roof, because you are going to go through it. You're going to go through the ringer, you know. And guys I even see today that are equally yoked in the household, simping hard, man. Like, listen, even guys that I know that been with their women many, many years, they're still semi-afraid of them because they can't make no move without getting their approval. They can't do nothing, you know. Should I tell this story or not? No, I'm not going to tell the story. I'm not going to tell the story. But something happened recently with one of my partners that really pissed me off. You know, something that his woman did really pissed me off. And it really pissed me off that he didn't check the situation, that he didn't correct the situation. I'm not saying he was supposed to go home and beat his girl. No, I'm not advocating no violence, nothing like that. No. You will do many years behind bars. Okay, do not raise your hand to females at all, no matter what. You walk away, you talk it out, or you separate, but you don't go beating on no female for several reasons. Okay, that's a no-go, especially in this country and this time right now. That's a no-go. But he was supposed to check his woman for what she said, in my opinion, right then and there on the spot, even if it was through a text, and he didn't do it. And when he didn't do it, I kind of looked at him because I saw the text. You know what I mean? I saw what she wrote, what she said to him, and it was insulting to me. And I didn't say nothing to him about it because he didn't check her. And when I saw that he didn't check her, I said, okay, if I say something to him about it, he might turn on me. That's how enthralled he is to his woman. Enthralled. Go look that word up. Okay? So that's my bonus. And this is why, that's my bonus topic. And this is why I had to bring out my No Man shirt. Al Bundy, 4 touchdowns in 1 game, Polk High, baby. This was what Al Bundy was fighting against in his garage. This is why he formed the No Man Club, the No Man Club. All right? All you guys need to go out there and get one of these shirts, man. Especially if you henpecked to remind yourself of who you was, you know, and who you could possibly be again. Not some henpecked punk, you know, underfoot of some woman where you can't even do nothing. You can't even go nowhere without the permission, checking in and all that nonsense like she's your mother. What the hell has happened? What the hell has happened to men? Straight wimps. We allowing all this transgender nonsense to go on. We're allowing all this alternative lifestyle nonsense to go on unchecked, because I'm going to keep this 100 right now. And I had this conversation with my buddy the other day. A lot of these so-called transgenders are mentally ill, but now they're getting laws passed to accommodate the mentally ill. You got these Dr. Frankenstein surgeons going to medical school for goddamn 8 years, 10 years, just to acquire all these skills to be a Dr. Frankenstein hacking around body parts. They could be saving lives. Instead, they're turning penises into vaginas. They could be doing heart surgery. They could be doing kidney transplants, but they're putting breast on men's chests. All right. And real men is not speaking out about this. I work with the transgender population, or a percentage of the transgender population, very closely, working in a men's shelter, doing security in different apartment buildings where they resided. And yes, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, not all, but many of them have mental health issues. Okay, I'm going to say it again. They have mental health issues. I could identify as a goddamn peacock. That don't make me one. I can identify as a mighty duck. But let me go jump off this roof and I'm going to land dead on my damn head. Head first. I'm not going to sprout wings and fly. So you can identify as whatever the hell you want to identify as. Okay, and I say all this to say that men have become wimps because of their children converting to this or that and them having to take the stance, well, you know, my daughter is this, or, you know, my son turned out to be this, or my nephew turned out to be that, or my niece turned out to be this. That doesn't mean you have to back off your manhood and what you believe in just because people close to you are participating in nonsense and foolishness that laws are being passed now for. There was a story recently about a man putting on a wig and going into the women's bathroom just to peep, just to be on some peeping Tom shit. And you know what? He's well within his rights now. How about that? How about that for these transgender laws being passed? I could put a wig on a pig, you dig? And go in a women's bathroom and say, I feel like I'm a woman today. What you gonna say? And pull out my big old penis in the goddamn women's bathroom. How about that? How about that? Your 10-year-old daughter might be in that bathroom. How about that? What you think about that? But you men are not standing up. You men are being beta male punk bitches yourself and allowing all of this shit to go on unchecked. All of these loudmouth females running their mouth to men like they can really fight. That's just like me walking up to Mike Tyson and calling him a punk bitch without expecting to be knocked out cold. But you got a lot of these loudmouth women, okay, feel like they can say anything to a man. I'm going to give you a perfect example. I do Uber and Lyft part-time. Many of you, if you follow the channel, know this. Some of you don't. I do it part-time. I had a black woman and her daughter get in my car, right? And I looked at the address they were going to. I thought it might have been a street in a gated community that I really don't want no part of, because you got to get up out of the car, go into this sign-in or this community center, this big building, get online, show your car registration and your driver's license. Sometimes you're waiting online 15 minutes in there. That's 15 minutes you lost. You're not getting paid any extra for that as a driver. Not only that, sometimes you might have the passengers in your car. You don't want to leave the passengers in your car to go into a building to sign in, right? So this is why I asked her, are you going to PCP? Why? Why? Well, you going to tell me that you're not going to take me in that case? Because, you know, Liv says that you have to take me. You can't ask me where I'm going. And she started going in on me in my car. And the only thing I asked her is where you going PCP? She caught an attitude and started riffing with me. And now listen, folks. I grew up as a teenager in Brooklyn, New York. I grew up fighting. I'm a big dude. I'm 6'1", 270-something pounds. I used to box. I took martial arts. I would take this woman and ragdoll her up and down the street with one arm tied behind my back. But because of feminism and because Black women have been put on a pedestal by the media, they all think they queens. Some of them, not all, some of them think they could talk to a man any kind of way without no repercussions. What I had to do in that situation, I kept my cool. I explained to the lady very clearly, but I lowered my voice all the way down to a menace, to a menacing level. And I looked in the rearview mirror and I said, Miss, this is my vehicle. I have the right of refusal. You could tell me you want to go to Boston. If I don't feel like going to Boston, I can refuse the ride and you can get another car. Now, if you want to get another car, gladly step out. But you're not going to stand here, sit in my car and argue with me, telling me what I supposed to do for you. I don't have to do a damn thing for you. You know what? She shut the hell up. She shut the hell up because the next thing out of her mouth, I'd have told her, get the F out of my car. But you have a lot of women running around thinking they could just say anything to a man. Okay, you know why? Because they got that cell phone. As soon as they say something insulting or disrespectful to that man, 911, now they calling daddy government to come save them. Now they're not so tough anymore. Okay, and all of this is going on unchecked. Unchecked. I'm not saying if you have a woman like that, you're supposed to turn around and punch her in the face, because obviously that's not what I did. As a man, you still have to keep your cool, but you're supposed to check that shit. I checked her. So the next man that she gets or she gets in a car with or has some kind of interaction with at a grocery store or wherever, maybe she'll think twice before running her mouth. Because I'm not the one or the two. I don't give a damn if you man, woman, boy or girl. Man, woman, old, cripple, in a wheelchair. I don't give a damn. If you in a wheelchair and you disrespect me, I might roll you over a goddamn hill and make you tumble over 100 times. I don't give a damn. If you disrespect me, I don't discriminate. You'll get the same ass whooping if you push me to that point. So that's the bonus, man. What's happened out here, dudes? I'm going to keep this under an hour like I promised. You henpeck dudes out there, super henpeck dudes, disgust me. And stop giving young men bad advice on how to be a sucker like you. All right? Real men stand up. Speak your mind. Stop being afraid of being canceled. They can't cancel every goddamn body. All right? So stop being scared of being canceled. All right? Stand up, speak your mind. Check some of this nonsense because it's out of control. This has been Rant Roller Sports. I want you to like, share, subscribe. Please do me that favor. Please check in the comment section what you think about the topics I covered. I want to thank my man Tariq for checking in on the live. I appreciate it. Appreciate the love. And I'll see you guys soon.